Welcome to Bookman's NaNoWriMo Pep Talk. I hope sharing my story and the experience of writing my novel can offer writers and participants in NaNoWriMo some inspiration and motivation during National Novel Writing Month. Bookmans invited me to talk about my journey as a writer and how I have come to have my first book published. So let me start out first before we get to that and introduce myself. My name is Parker Fairchild. I live here in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. And my first book was released this month, November of 2020. And it's a Christmas romantic comedy, a rom-com, entitled Christmas Cookies on a Cruise Ship. The book can be found at Amazon and Barnes & Noble in print and digital form. And in digital version, it can be found at Roku, Smashwords, Google Play, and Apple Books. So you can also follow me at my website, parkerfairchild.com, and from there are links to the aforementioned sites where you can buy the book, as well as links to my social media accounts and other little tidbits about Christmas cookies on a cruise ship and about me. So now that all the business is out of the way and the introductions, I will tell you a little bit about Christmas Cookies on a Cruise Ship. Well, this Christmas Cookies is the story of Dr. Olivia Chasen and Commander Jace Morris. Well, Olivia Chasen, she is a chemist by day, and on the weekends and at night, she is an aspiring romance writer. Well, we're coming up to Christmas, and she and her boyfriend break up. Well, what really happens is she finds her boyfriend with her twin sister, who just happens to be the international supermodel, gorgeous Jane Chasen. Well, Olivia is devastated, and there's no way that she's going to endure Christmas with her sister. So at the last minute, she books this cruise, this Caribbean cruise. She just has to get away. I mean, she will float on anything. She just has to get away. And she is determined on this cruise to be the exciting Olivia Chasen. And she's just going to find the whole new her, the whole new exciting her. And she's determined to do it even if it takes a boatload of tequila to do it. Well, actually, it's more like a bunch of glasses of champagne and a bunch of glasses of margarita, because she just gets so intoxicated her first night. And during the Welcome Aboard Christmas show, she finds herself sitting on Santa's lap. And when Santa Claus asks her what she wants for Christmas, she replies without thought, Jace Morris. Well, Jace Morris is the fictional character that she's creating in the romance novel that she's starting to write. But Jace Morris is also Commander Jace Morris, who is in the audience that night and is on the cruise for a friend's destination wedding. So you kind of see where this is going. Just imagine, ladies, dreaming up your ideal guy and then he appears. Well, between a lot of Christmas cookies, platters and platters full of them, and Santa and Mrs. Claus and Christmas magic, it's a nice happily ever after for Olivia and Jace, but a lot of twists and turns along the way. So that's Christmas Cookies on a Cruise Ship. I wrote it before the pandemic, but it's a nice story and really appropriate to be out this year, since people can't cruise and travel like they typically do. They can really have a nice escape, a nice Christmassy, romantic, fun escape with Christmas Cookies on a Cruise Ship. So I did the first outline for Christmas Cookies on a Cruise Ship several years ago when I was on a Christmas Caribbean cruise with my family. So I've cruised for years. I love to cruise, one of my favorite ways to travel. And so I had in the back of my mind that I wanted to do some type of cruise fiction, cruise romance, really cruise romance. So I started this outline while I was on the ship. Then I came home, and life has a way of getting in the way, and there were other work projects, so it got just put aside and saved on my computer. So then a few more years passed by, and I was on another cruise with my family, and I met this guy named Jason on the cruise. He was on there with his brother and his brother's wife. They were taking their parents on an anniversary cruise, a wedding anniversary cruise. Well, Jason and I met on the Tinder in Maui, Hawaii, and it was love at first sight, honestly. Well, I was living in Virginia at the time, Richmond, Virginia, and so I moved out here to Phoenix, and we got married at the Royal Palms, and we do have our happily ever after. So now we come to the pandemic and the quarantine. I was stuck in the house, and my mom suggested, well, why don't I pull out my book and work on it? She remembered I had this Christmas book, and we were looking for happy and fun and joy to think about, and she said, work on the Christmas book. So I pulled it out and looked at my outline and started to get back in the groove of working on it. And meanwhile, my mom, who's a huge reader, she had just finished a book by a new author. She's not a new author, but she was new to my mom. Her name was Bernadette Marie. And so like we all do when we read a book and we want to learn more about the author, she was doing some reading on Miss Marie, and she learned that Miss Marie had a publishing company, Five Prince Publishing. And upon further investigation, looking at Five Prince Publishing's website, she saw that they had a call for submissions, specifically Christmas submissions. Talk about serendipity, which is the name of the cruise ship, and Christmas cookies on a cruise ship. Well, let me stop here and put this piece of information in. These days in publishing, if you want to get published, it's kind of almost 100% rule that you need to have an agent to get in the door. Unless the publishing company, and this applies to small, medium, and large size publishers, unless they're having a call for submissions. And they often do this, where they have a call for submissions. So Five Prince had a call. So I read the instructions, read all the details, and I got the book finished, and they were asking for the first 3 chapters. Now publishers can ask for different requirements, different submission needs for this call. So the best rule is follow whatever the instructions say to the letter of what they wanted. And they wanted the first 3 chapters, so that's what I sent in. So waited a week or so, and I got what every author waits for, wants for, pines for next to a contract, is the request to read the full manuscript. Now, a full manuscript doesn't mean that you're getting a contract, but it's one step closer to that coveted signing a book contract. So, like a crazy person, I just had to read through it again because I just knew there had to be something to change that probably didn't need to be changed, but in my artistic creator's mind, I've got to change it, even though it, like I said, probably didn't need to be changed. Seriously, I went through it, read through it again, and it's a fine line. It's important to edit, but at some point we all have to get to the point that we send our manuscripts off, or they'll never get outside their computer, and the only people who ever read them are the dust bunnies in our computer. And I'm going to blend. Bookmans asked me to give my advice to writers, so I'm going to blend some of that in here. It's really important that you don't endeavor to be the best writer you can be, but also be the best editor, which means being critical of yourself. But it's also important to have people to read, family, friends, and then people who know you but maybe aren't as close as your mom, sister, husband. So in my case, I had my mom and my husband that read it as I was getting it ready to go in to send in this full submission. So I encourage everyone, the goals here, work on making yourself the best writer, and also the most critical of editors. I said critical, not critical of yourself. I didn't mean that earlier, but critical of your writing. So, because you know what you want to say, and you're the best one to get it exactly how it needs to read. So practice good writing, practice good editing of your work. Okay, so I've sent the manuscript off to them. I've given it the best I could do. It needs to go, so it will get outside of my computer to bring joy and happiness to other people. So now I wait. So about a couple weeks pass, and I hear from them again via email, and they want to publish my book. This is what we all wait for, we all want for. This is the creme de la creme of the writing world. We feel like we finally made it. Because after all, a publisher, unless we're sending it to a publisher we know, and I knew no one at Five Prints, a publisher, they're not our friends, they're not our family, they're not friends of a friend. So, they're not our beta readers and our beta readers are often friends of friends. These are total strangers and they want my work. They like my work. So before I could even do the contract, 2 days later, well, let me go back. I get the contract because this is a seasonal book. Of course, it's Christmas. It's going to come out, well, at Christmas. Because the timing in the year and the year was getting late, they wouldn't be able to get it out for the 2020 Christmas season. This Christmas, it would come out in the fall of 2021 for Christmas of 2021. So I was really happy, and I really was happy. Of course, I was a little bummed it's not going to come out this year. I wanted it out this year. So I get over my little temper tantrum over that and, writer's ego and all that and being a writer diva. So then I'm just excited. It'll be 2021. I can wait. Give me time. It'll give me time to get all the business side of writing taken care of. And we'll get to that in just a minute. But then literally 2 days later, I get another email from Five Prints that they've had an opening in their editorial publishing pipeline of working on stuff, getting everything all done. And guess what? They can get it out this year. If I have the time to devote to everything that goes into publishing, they'll make the time and we'll push and we'll get it out this year. It will be rapid fire. It'll be, working around the clock. So I'm just, yes, I'm excited. Let's do it. I can rearrange my schedule and I can get it out there. So at this point, I signed the contract. Once I came down off of cloud nine that my book is going to be published. Christmas Cookies on a Cruise Ship is coming out for the December 2020 Christmas season. Then it was time to get serious and get to work. I had a lot of hard work ahead of me. Fun work, but hard work. And my work went in two directions. There was the business aspect of being a published author. I was a published author. And then there was the creative side. So on the creative end, I had lots of work to do with Five Prints. Five Prints and I both worked really hard to get this book out. Five Prints is an awesome publisher. I can't say enough good things, enough good compliments about them. How hard they worked with me, and I tried to work as equally hard and be as equally responsible as they were. So I spent the month of October doing 3 rounds of edits with Five Prints' professional editor, and then we had creative tasks to do, such as working on the book cover. I had to write the back cover blurb. I had to come up with keywords and teasers. I had to put all that together into the publishing process for it all to work. Then on the business side, go back a few steps. I created a pen name for myself, Parker Fairchild, and that both affected the creative side because, I needed a name for the cover of the book, but it was also the business side because I had created this persona, this pen name. I went ahead and took that and translated that too into an LLC for myself. And having an LLC, a limited liability corporation, meant getting a business checking account and securing things in that business name, and getting a tax ID number. So there were all the little business tasks to do, getting an accountant, getting a lawyer, to make everything flow. And I was doing this alongside doing the creative. Now, again, if I wasn't in this seasonal push to publish, I would have had more time to do all these tasks. Again, my mom and husband were just super helpers, to help me get it all done, and just my right and my left hand. And it was a fun experience. Anyone who's doing something on a short seasonal time or some other short publishing would have the same experience as I have of kind of everything tripping over one another. But I got it done, and there's still a few processes I'm still putting in place, a few business aspects. But it can get done. That's the good news. It can get done with dedication. And basically, my biggest advice in that respect is to take one step at a time. Don't look at the entire whole project and feel overwhelmed, but just break it down step by step. And like I said, my publisher was great, about working with me. Even different tasks we had to do would come out in different emails, so it was easy to break these tasks down and get them done, because they weren't all heaped in one email or all heaped on top, so it didn't feel so overwhelming. But like I said, it can get done. It's a fun process. So I wrap this up with my best advice for writers is, the first thing is, you always have to write. If you don't keep it writing, you won't have anything to publish. Keep writing, keep believing in yourself, keep writing, 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 and then keep editing, editing, editing. Be critical not of yourself, but be critical of your writing. And keep writing and editing, writing, editing. Search out publishers. Look for publishers that are having open submissions, that are calling for submissions. That's when you want to come in and show your work. And as I said, follow their instructions, whatever it is they want, follow that to the T. And meanwhile, while you're searching for publishers and monitoring for these open submissions, find agents. Get like the writer's market and search for agents that do your genre. If it's romance, mystery, whatever, find the matches and follow their instructions and get your work out there. You just have to come to a point where you say it's the best it can be. You make it the best. You be the best writer, the best editor, then pass it to your spouse, to your parents, your siblings, and then go to friends of friends, those beta readers, and have them read it. And at that point, when you're there, send it. Just don't leave it sitting on your computer. It will never get out for the world to read if you don't say, hey, it's good, I'm great, I've done the best I can, I'm going to send it off. So that's basically my advice. Give it 100% and don't look at the whole picture. Break things down to step by step. And it's just a fun experience. I'm so glad I put forth the effort. And I don't want to scare anyone off or away because of the work I had. I mean, that was my choice to push it this year, and I'm glad that I did. But like I said, it can get done. And it's just taking it one step at a time and enjoying the process. It's a lot of hard work, but it's fun work. It's exciting work. I want to end by thanking Bookmans for this opportunity. Not only this opportunity to be able to speak and talk about my writing and my book, Christmas Cookies on a Cruise Ship, but also to hopefully inspire other people. And I am at parkerfairchild.com, and my social media accounts are there. I'm on Facebook. Anyone can feel free to reach out to me, and I'll do whatever I can do to answer questions or help other aspiring writers. There's no real magic pill or magic key. It's working hard and believing in yourself and believing in your story and believing in your characters. And you can do it. So happy writing out there. And the winter's coming now after Christmas. That can be a great time to tuck in and write. So get it done and get it out there. And you say, it was a writer the other day, and I'm trying to think of the name, and she said, I only put out a book, every year or so. So people want books every day. So yeah, you could say we're all competing against each other as writers, but there's so many readers and they want content all the time. So let's help each other get content out there and keep people happy and keep people happily reading. So again, Bookmans, thank you, thank you, thank you for supporting me and supporting all of us authors. We really appreciate it.